Scoot Henderson had what can only be described as a rather rough start to his rookie season, as through his first 12 games, he averaged 9.3 points per game, 2.7 rebounds per game, and 4.1 assists per game on 33.6, 18, 66.7 splits, and a 40.2 true shooting percentage. However, over his last 9 games, he's averaging 15.1 points per game, 2.6 rebounds per game, and 4.9 assists per game on 40.2, 40.6, 93.5 splits, and a 52.1 true shooting percentage. Now, these numbers aren't the best, but they are a significant improvement, as well as numbers that reflect an expected rookie season from a top 3 pick point guard. Scoot hasn't quite lived up to what I thought he would be as a rookie so far, but he's slowly starting to put together, and he's starting to look like that special point guard prospect that's been hyped up for years now. But quickly, before we go any further, if you're new and like basketball, I'd really appreciate if you would like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to notify whenever I release a video. I make videos about basketball all the time, and liking and subscribing are the two best ways that can help me out in the YouTube algorithm, help support the channel, and help me reach my goal of 10,000 subscribers by the end of the season. Let's try and get 100 likes on this video so YouTube will recommend it to others. Anyways, let's talk about Scoot Henderson. Scoot Henderson is one of the most bizarre cases of a rookie finisher at the rim I've ever seen. In terms of numbers, he's been flat out awful, as he shoots 44% at the rim on 4.3 attempts per game, putting him in the second percentile in terms of rim efficiency. Obviously, these numbers aren't even close to good, and are very low for a player with the physical and athletic tools that Scoot has. But what makes it so bizarre is that his physicality and athleticism is actually what has led to his inefficiency at the rim. It's not like LaMelo, Halliburton, or Trey when they were rookies, where they struggled with physicality. With Scoot, his physicality is a big factor in his struggles. First of all, he's so strong, and he's also a rookie, so he doesn't have a good whistle, but that's only part of the equation. The other part, and the bigger part of this equation, is that he drives with the intent of trying to draw a foul that guys like Trae Young or say Gilgeous-Alexander do, instead of trying to purely finish when he's too physical to get foul calls like that. In some ways, it reminds me of a more extreme version of what Anthony Edwards was early on, where the struggles at the basket aren't because of being physically underdeveloped by any stretch of the imagination. The struggles are because of decision making and intent when attacking the basket. And honestly, I don't think these struggles at the rim will be a long-term thing, because he's too physically and athletically gifted, on top of having good skill and feel. He's a 19-year-old rookie point guard at the end of the day, and the flashes he's had as a finisher are truly special. His speed and quickness, his burst and explosion, his hang time and body control, his strength and physicality, all of those things can't be taught. And while he still has to put it all together as a finisher, his flashes combined with his tools and intangibles make me confident that this is more of just a rookie adjustment rather than a real long-term concern. I've also been intrigued by his shooting ability, starting with what he does beyond the arc. He's shooting 26.8% on 3.9 attempts per game, and those numbers aren't good obviously, but what's interesting is how up and down of a shooter he is. This is not a reflection of a new 27% shooter on 4 attempts a night. This is a reflection of being either really good from 3 or flat out awful from 3 with no real middle ground. He has 7 games where he shoots at least 40% from 3, and in 5 of those games, he's taking at least 4 per night. On the flip side, he has 11 games where he's shooting below 30% from 3, and in 10 of those games, he's taking at least 3 per night. And in 7 of those 10 games, he's shooting 0% from 3. Outside of 2 games where he shoots 1 for 3 from beyond the arc, there's no real middle ground here. He's either really good on decent volume or really bad on decent volume. But what does this mean? Well, I think it's a natural shot selection and confidence problem more than anything. It's something that a lot of young guards go through when they are adjusting to the NBA. because he doesn't have anything glaringly wrong or that's a red flag with his form on tape. And long term, I am optimistic because his confidence has gotten better as a three-point shooter as the season's gone along. It's still a work in progress. He still has his ups and downs, but where he was at the start of the season as a three-point shooter in terms of confidence in his attempts compared to where he is now in terms of confidence on attempts is very encouraging. I've also been encouraged by his mid-range shooting. Now, the numbers aren't great, as according to Clean the Glass, he's shooting 34% on 2.3 short mid-range attempts per game, which are shots between 4 feet and just within 14 feet, and he's shooting 36% on 1.7 long mid-range attempts per game, which are shots between 14 feet and just within the 3-point line. Not great numbers, but for a rookie who had a slow start to the season, I am encouraged by what I see on tape. His mechanics as a pull-up shooter look fluid, the form again looks good, maybe a few tweaks here or there, but overall, as someone that isn't a shot doctor, I don't notice any that's glaringly wrong with his form that suggests he would need major overhaul. And on top of that, he's not afraid to take them, and I do think long term, he can grow into a mid-range shooter that's good enough to expand the rest of his offensive game. As a playmaker, Scoot has flashed real high-end upside, mixing in basic reads and advanced reads. He has had his struggles, sometimes he's going too fast and is out of control, but adjusting to the NBA as a playmaker is a tough one for a 19-year-old to make, so struggles will be expected. His rookie tape as a playmaker reminds me a lot of De'Aaron Fox when he was a rookie, where you saw the flashes of real upside combined with those out-of-control too fast plays. But I've seen enough from Scoot to be encouraged. He can reach star upside as a playmaker. He has the vision, has the feel for the game. I think he has some flashes of real manipulation upside, and I think that this is an area that will expand as his scoring gets better, because for those who've been long-time subscribers, you know my belief in scoring expanding your playmaking. Scoot Henderson hasn't had a good rookie season by any stretch of the imagination, at least in terms of the start. He's had a lot of struggles and has taken more time to adjust than I initially anticipated. But I still believe in everything I said in previous videos about him in terms of his upside and potential, even if he hasn't quite adjusted the way I thought he would early on. 21 games as a 19-year-old rookie point guard shouldn't change your opinion on somebody pre-draft, because as a rookie point guard, you look at it and say, okay, a teenager adjusting to the NBA, that's already a hard adjustment, let alone with the responsibility of being a point guard, so struggles are to be expected. Look at Darius Garland, look at Trae Young, and even look at LaMelo Ball. They all struggled early on as well. His confidence has gotten better as the season's gone along, and even through his struggles, his motor still runs hot. You can tell when he struggles, he's frustrated with himself, but he does his best not to let that frustration spread to the team, and does his best to be a positive energy guy for that team, whether he's playing well or not. When you listen to interviews from him and those in the organization, whether it be coaches or players, you can tell that despite this not starting the way they wanted to, they still believe in him. And I do think, despite my criticisms of Chauncey Billups as a head coach, I think he's not a good head coach at all, I think this was the right situation for Scoot to land in, because Chauncey Billups was in the same situation that Scoot was entering the league. A top 3 pick as a point guard that struggled early on, and he didn't get the same sort of time to adjust that Scoot has. And I think a lot of that has to do with Chauncey seeing how his career started and letting Scoot play through his struggles, because he wasn't able to do that, and it caused him to be a journeyman early on in his career. Regardless of just that though, you can tell that everyone in that organization, based off interviews, knows he's putting in the work to be great. And on tape, he's had enough flashes of that special point guard prospect early on for me not to be worried, even with the struggles. Because, I'll be honest, I struggle to look at his athletic and physical tools as well as skill and intangible and believe he's going to be this bad for much longer. I look at him in terms of the Clippers game the Jazz game, the Kings game, and even the Spurs game, despite the fact he was awful from the field. And I'm still very much in the belief that this is someone that can be one of the best point guards in the NBA one day. The athleticism can't be taught. The skill and feel can't be taught. The handle's there. The creation upside's there. He's starting to put it together as a mid-range and three-point shooter. All the tools are there for that potentially great point guard. Only time will tell if he does do it. But when I watch the tape, I think it's less about what he can and can't do, because I don't feel like I'm watching someone whose struggles are because he's incapable of doing things on a basketball court. I more feel like I'm watching someone struggle because they're trying to put it all together. I see the flashes of what he's capable of, and he's capable of a lot. Right now, it's just about can he put it together, and there's a lot of time to. He's only 19 years old and is 21 games into his NBA career. His finishing numbers feel like it's more about adjustments and decision making rather than physicality struggles. His shooting numbers are getting better, and there's a correlation between his confidence and those numbers. And his turnovers and fouls need to be cleaned up. But these are things that a lot of young athletic point guards struggle with. Again, only time will tell with how good Scoot Henderson is in the NBA. But I don't think these 21 games reflect a player you should be worried about long term, or you should be getting victory laps out of either. But that's the end of this video. From Rato's point, thank you so much. Again, haven't already, like, subscribe, hit notification bell, I'm notified whenever I release a video. I make videos about basketball all the time, and liking and subscribing are the two best ways you can help me out in the YouTube algorithm, help support the channel, and help me reach my goal of 10,000 subscribers by the end of the season. Let's try and get 100 likes on this video so YouTube will recommend it to others. Let me know what you think about Scoot Henderson in the comment section below. But with that being said, have a nice day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.